Are you thinking of selling your house? Right now is a great time for sellers. With more buyers in the market looking for homes than there are homes available, this is giving sellers great negotiating power. A lot of houses are going for over asking with multiple offers. And today I'm going to break down for you the top 3 contributing factors to the seller's market and why I think right now is the perfect time to list. Hi, I'm Brittany Ganane with the Thomas Group and Love Local Real Estate, your local Las Vegas and Henderson realtors. And today I'm going to discuss 3 of the major components that we have contributing to the current seller's market that we're seeing. And I'm going to discuss why, if you've been on the fence about whether or not to sell or list your home, why right now might be the exact perfect time to do it. Really quick, before we get into it, if you haven't done so, please take a minute to like and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of our great content. We do home tours, community tours, things to do in Las Vegas, and so much more, and we don't want you to miss a thing. The first major contributing factor to the current seller's market is simple supply and demand. Over the course of 2020, on a national level, the housing supply reduced by almost 40%. This means that buyers were left with a lot less to choose from, and sellers were left with all the negotiating power in their court. With buyer demand so far outweighing the supply of available homes, this means that sellers have a lot better chance at multiple offers, over asking price offers, cash offers, no contingency offers, and all in all just having a better situation if you need a lease back or if you want a longer close of escrow. You're going to get clean offers and buyers are going to be willing to cater towards your needs in an effort to get themselves a house. A seller's market doesn't last forever. Eventually the pendulum will swing back to the buyers. So if the conditions change at all, you're going to see a little bit more leverage go towards the buyers as the market starts to loosen up. There are a few things that I think might contribute to having some more inventory come out into the market, which will give buyers more choices and therefore will give them a little more negotiating power when there's a little bit more supply for the demand. One of them is the lifting of the mortgage forbearance. No one knows exactly how this is going to play out, but it's possible that if you owed some money, it would make sense to cash out on all this equity we're seeing with all the price appreciation that has been happening over the last year and a half to pay off debts incurred during the shutdown. Or if you owe some money on your home, it might make sense to cash out. We'll have to wait and see, but we may see more houses coming on the market. Another thing is the lifting of the COVID restrictions. The economy's starting to pick up. People who were holding in temporary kind of in place because maybe they're unemployed and they couldn't qualify for another loan or they couldn't qualify for rent, so they couldn't move. People who were not comfortable showing their home, they weren't sure what was going to be happening, or their jobs were remote. Who knows what the situation was, but these situations are going away now that were related to COVID. So some of the people who've been sort of holding due to the pandemic, that's going to start to ease up and we might see some more listings come into market because of that too. With the lifting of COVID restrictions and people getting back to work, some of the temporary reasons for people holding in place and not selling start to go away. Maybe they didn't want people coming through their home, or being temporarily unemployed, they couldn't qualify for another loan, or they couldn't sell and then go rent somewhere because they didn't have any income. There's a number of reasons during the pandemic, people just not knowing what was coming have maybe held off on selling a home that they had previously planned on selling, or jobs change. But a lot of that's starting to go away and the economy is picking up. The second major factor to consider when thinking about whether or not now is the right time to list your home is the record price appreciation and home equity growth that we have seen over the past year. A CoreLogic report from the first quarter of 2020 to the first quarter of 2021 reports an average equity increase of $33,400 over the past year on mortgaged homes. The average equity of homeowners on mortgaged homes currently is $216,000. Over the past year, the average equity increase is 6%, and the U.S. over the past year experienced almost $1.9 trillion in increased equity in their homes. The record price appreciation we're seeing on homes, which goes hand in hand with the record amounts of equity that we're seeing homeowners have in their homes, is actually making this an ideal time for homeowners to cash out on that equity. And they have a few options. You could roll over the equity and couple that with the low interest rates and get yourself into a larger or more attractive home for a very similar payment to what you have now. Or you could downsize and cash out that equity and pay off some debts, invest, save, but that extra cash that you're getting from the equity and the higher prices really gives you some flexibility for what your next move could be. The third thing to think about when deciding whether or not now is the right time to sell your house are these low interest rates. The thing about the low interest rates is they won't last forever. That's part of what's been contributing to this demand, is you could get so much more home for the same money, and it was getting buyers maybe into their dream home, or especially with these record high prices, they're just barely qualifying because of the low interest rates. When that starts to go away, you're going to see the market start to slow down as demand goes down from the buyers. CNBC reported that in February, when the 30-year rate on a fixed mortgage went from 2.96 to 2.98, that's 0.02%, the mortgage application rate fell by 5.1%. So just imagine as the rates begin to rise, you'll start to see that buyer pool go down a little bit. We saw the loan rates rise a little bit in the spring, and with the COVID restrictions lessening and the economic activity coming back, I would imagine that we'll start to see rates continue to creep up. I don't know, I'm not a lender, but it's just a guess. That's why I think now is the time to take advantage of the low rates while they're there. The current lack of inventory, low interest rates, high price appreciation, and equity in homes is giving the perfect combination to create such a hot seller's market that we're experiencing right now. But as I've discussed, it won't always be this way. Buyers markets and sellers markets are like a pendulum, and it goes back and forth. No one knows how long it will take. Could still be a while, but I hope I've outlined why right now might be a great time to think about selling if you've been on the fence, and capitalize on some of that equity, get your cash out, and get into your next dream home. Sellers who are nervous that in this hot market they'll have a hard time finding a home after they sell theirs, well, where will I go, where will I live? You actually have a couple options, because it is a seller's market and you have a lot of leverage when it comes to negotiating. You'll have a pretty good chance of getting your terms met by buyers who would like to get their offer accepted. So one thing you can do is get an offer from a buyer who's willing to give you a longer close of escrow or a lease back or rent back in the interest of getting their offer to stand out or accepted from multiple offers. You may be able to negotiate a good amount of time so that you can find yourself a home. The other option is to find yourself your home first. That way you're not in a rush and you have your time. And because it's a hot seller's market and most listings are going very quickly, you can then sell your home after you've already secured your dream home. Thank you for joining me today, and I hope that I showed you why the current lack of inventory and high demand coupled with low interest rates, along with the price appreciation and growth in equity in homes right now, make this the perfect time that if you've been on the fence to go ahead and list your home. And if you or someone you know is interested in buying or selling in Las Vegas, feel free to reach out to either myself or one of my teammates at thethomasgrouplv.com. We are here to help, and we offer free consultations. Until next time, I'm Brittany Ganane, and I will see you in the next video.